Rot inside, or better yet, rot outside. A Whitewater documentary. Beachburg, Ontario, Whitewater region, McCoy shoots, and fucking insane water. We're back on the Ottawa River today, surfing McCoy shoots. So, what difference does being active actually make? Well, after COVID, the need to be active and get outside skyrocketed, with nature adventure and extreme sports increasing as a trend, not just within the already existing community, but as a part of social media and its influencers. Post-COVID tourism campaigns, adventure sport companies, and influencers have all been selling the cure for what was lost within the isolation of COVID. In efforts to recuperate lost revenue from the previous lack of equipment, services, and program sales, we see an increase in paddle and paddle themed everything. This hasn't come without its downsides. While the overall impact has been a positive one, it's also seen a decline in water safety, an increase in alcohol consumption, and an increase in paddling incidents, water-related injuries, and drowning. So what really can be said here? A 2016 to 2020 English study showed that there was a 46% increase in adventure sports prior to 2015. It was found that the majority of the demographic was midlife middle class. Post-COVID, within the US, equipment sales and paddling increased by a whopping 56% and 68% in cycling. This trend wasn't just seen by youth pushing to leave their bubble, but middle-aged and older adults. This trend was general, but saw a spike in gravity-centered based activities, such as surfing, snowboarding, skiing, and paddle sports. Studies show how the increased core strength and practical muscle groups used help slow the body's natural deterioration with age, specific to back and abdominal injuries. Just consider why people who live in Colorado have some of the longest life expectancies in America. But why is paddling so dangerous? It's not just an activity, but the culture. With many having the push harder attitude, safety becomes second to the achievement. With only recently, we've seen an increase in personal flotation devices and helmets across all water sports, which is something to be grateful for. And what has been the benefit of cycling in your life?
Increased fitness, better mood, feeling better overall, and my core feels stronger since I started cycling.
And what other passions do you have?
Besides cycling, I also enjoy a nice long walk and occasional soccer game on the weekend.
As of 2023, 40% of deaths from recreational boating in Canada can be related to the consumption of alcohol. Two things that are being mixed: water and intoxication. Because of the recent influx of boaters and paddlers, according to an analysis of the U.S. Coast Guard data, nearly 3/4, or 74.6%, of those who perished in paddling accidents in 2020 had fewer than 100 hours of experience, and more than 1/3, 38.8%, had fewer than 10 hours. So, paddle sports, including stand-up paddleboarding, kayaking, and canoeing, throughout the pandemic, per most recent data from the Outdoor Foundation, it was found that an estimated 2.5 million additional paddlers visited American waterways as a result of this pandemic. It did, however, result in a record high of 202 fatalities and 331 accidents. Although these numbers aren't local, they represent the Canadian demographic pretty well. In a comprehensive analysis post-COVID, we've seen an increase in drunk and intoxicated drivers on Ontario roads. So, what does this mean? It indicates that individuals are suffering from mental health issues, increased risk-taking, and enhanced thrill-seeking. It becomes a problem when these people take advantage of the newness, excitement, and affordability of extreme sports such as paddling and whitewater paddling. The most dangerous thing to society is a casually suicidal adrenaline junkie with little to no safety training. And this is just what we're seeing. As paddling popularity popped off, keeping recreational users safe on waterways becomes a challenge, as these sports tend to inspire confidence that often can't be translated to skill immediately, especially when paddling in more isolated waterways such as some of the most exciting white water. But what's the worst that can happen?
And just look at how fast the water on the surface is moving back towards the structure.
Poorly timed flipping of the boat, leading to swims, if you're unable to roll it back, will leave you to the mercy of the river. Other terrible things include getting pinned between the features of a rapid, Kayak skirt implosion and you begin sinking with the boat in the middle of the river. But the worst, low head dams, otherwise known as drowning machines, seen in huge numbers all across North America post-dam revolution of the 70s. Once you're stuck in the hydraulic of these dams, over 50% of victims die, and the rescue operations are halted because of safety concerns for the rescuers. See, then this becomes such a problem as unexperienced paddlers do not do the proper research of the river or have the local knowledge. They're unable to navigate it. Oftentimes, the signage is non existent or overlooked. Such as here on Credit River, we have 2 low-head dams near the Meadowvale Conservation main waterway, as well as maybe 3 or 5 scattered off on a side. Anyways, swift whitewater rescue techniques, throw bags, and experienced team members are what you need. So, this year, get active, get out there, and visit your local rivers and waterways. See what they can really offer for you. Make sure you have an experienced team and people you can trust in worst-case scenarios.